So I've watched Dragon Ball Daima episode 18 5 or 6 times now, and each time that fight sequence between Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Third Eye Transformation Goma just keeps getting better. The monkey run along those rocks is just insane. Anyway, the video is not about that, it's about the power of Goma with the third eye, or some people call it Third Eye Transformation Goma. I'm sure there'll be an official name that's much more catchy than that, but ultimately the third eye that powers the Supreme Demon King Goma is insanely powerful and way stronger than I think most people imagined. Now, I like to keep up with what the Dragon Ball community is talking about, and a topic that's really rose to prominence over the last few days is how strong exactly is Third Eye Goma? Does he reach Dragon Ball Super power levels? If so, which arcs does he actually match? Guys, make sure you let me know down in the comment section. Is he Battle of Gods level? Is he Resurrection of F level, or further? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Of course, I'll give my answer later in this video. Now, while some people aren't that keen on Goma, the character itself, and some people don't feel like he's really earned his way into being a serious antagonist, which is fair criticism in my opinion, but ultimately it's not about that. It's about the power he now possesses with the third eye, which is stated to have unparalleled power. We'll get back to that. But this item has more power than Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and I don't even think we've seen the full extent of it yet. In fact, this is more like a part 1 based on episode 18. After episode 19, I imagine we'll have to do a part 2 where he's probably going to get upscaled due to some new showings. However, one thing I've been really impressed by in episode 17 and 18 are his use of magical abilities. Finally, Daima's starting to deliver in terms of magic, potency and techniques. Now, magic is not new in Dragon Ball. We've seen magic before. In fact, we've seen it plenty of times. If you want to go to the most recent arc in Dragon Ball Z, the Buu arc, we saw magic in the Buu arc with Babidi, Majin Buu, and then of course we saw it again in Dragon Ball Super when Moro came about, and he had quite potent magical abilities. Now, at the time of the Moro arc, one of my disappointments was that they didn't utilise that many magical techniques. Now, I know that energy absorption and merging with the planet are quite cool abilities. But I can remember wanting a bit more in terms of magic abilities. I thought it was a really interesting direction to go in, and I felt that even the Moro arc didn't quite get there. Of course, Moro's a different beast, quite literally, simply because he didn't just have magical abilities. Eventually, his magical abilities allowed him to gain power from actual ki as well, and we know that ki and magic are not the same thing in Dragon Ball. That's been made thoroughly clear in Dragon Ball Daima. But like I said, I did want to see a bit more, and Moro started to rely on his actual fighting abilities, as well as the fact that he ate Android OG73. I guess you could say eating another being and basically merging with them is another magic ability as well, but I still wanted to see more. However, as powerful as his magic was, and remember, his magic could affect Ultra Instinct, and even when he gained Ultra Instinct himself, he still saw his magic ability as something that was useful against Goku's silver-haired Ultra Instinct. So it just goes to tell you that even when he had Ultra Instinct, he still thought his magic was a useful weapon, and it can affect Ultra Instinct users. So if it can affect powerful beings like that, then it's pretty damn powerful. In fact, you could actually go back to even the Buu arc. Majin Buu had things like absorption, matter manipulation, and regeneration, which gave Super Saiyan 3 Goku ridiculous amounts of problems in that fight on the Supreme World of the Kai. Now the question is why did Majin Buu and Babidi leave the Demon Realm in the first place? Was it because the Supreme Demon King with the third eye was simply too powerful? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comment section. And then, even though we have to imagine that Moro is from the Demon Realm, what about Moro? Did he also leave the Demon Realm because of the third eye? However, what I did like about episode 18 of Dragon Ball Daima is we saw Majin Buu actually copy Goku going Super Saiyan 3, which is obviously something else we know about Majin Buu as well, is that his magic allows him to basically just copy something somebody else does almost instantaneously. We saw this with Fat Buu in the Buu arc, where he basically just learned the Kamehameha after seeing Goku do it. Majin Buu, even though obviously he isn't a Super Saiyan 3, somehow learned how to use ki in that moment. Even Arinsu said, what type of magic are they using? Because Buu had basically just learned how to use ki on the spot, which gives us some insight onto basically how the original Kid Buu would have learned how to do it, which I thought was a really neat moment. However, I am digressing. Ultimately, the third eye, when it was initially announced in Dragon Ball Daima, Goma stated that it was the ultimate weapon and had absolute power. Obviously, he's referring to magical power. Then, of course, later on in the series, when we see Goma with the third eye, Neva states that it's a terrible weapon that grants the user unparalleled power. Now, I know we get a lot of hyperbolic statements in Dragon Ball. However, based on those two statements, there should be no magical power based on the knowledge of these characters. You could say Goma might not know about Moro and Buu's power, even though I would argue that he would definitely know about Buu's power. Neva, however, likely would know about Moro's power, providing the two continuities line up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Would Neva know about Moro in the multiverse? After all, demons all migrated into the multiverse. Was Moro one of them? Seems likely. I know it's not been officially stated that he was a demon, but I mean, come on. But by those statements, Moro's magical ability should pale in comparison to what is capable of the third eye. Remember, we have not seen all the capabilities of the third eye yet, but what we just saw in Dragon Ball Daima episode 18 was incredible. Even the God of Creation, I know he's not particularly strong, but he has magic too, not even in the same realm as the third eye. Glorio, not in the same realm. The third eye was literally just amping Goma up and up and up. I guess you could say it worked in a similar fashion to Moro's energy absorption, where he gets stronger from the energy absorption, except the third eye doesn't have to absorb others' energy. It just makes the user more and more powerful. You could argue that the third eye works in a parasitic way, very similar to, guess who? Baby from Dragon Ball GT. No surprise there. But ultimately, it just kept amping Goma up every time it realised that Goku was getting the upper hand, till eventually it was flooring even Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now that Super Saiyan 4 multiplier over Super Saiyan 3 would have been quite large. After all, it vastly outperformed Du, Tamagami 1, who was amped, and Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Glorio, Shin, and Vegeta and Piccolo all fighting against Goma at once. Did I say Vegeta? Actually, that motherfucker was on the floor. Still, I don't know why he's so tired and burnt out, and why isn't he being given Super Saiyan 4? Next video, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. It's coming. Make sure you subscribed. Anyway, Super Saiyan 4 Goku vastly outperformed Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Goma was walloping Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Now, the obvious connection we can make is Super Saiyan 3 Goku vs Beerus on North Kai's planet in Battle of Gods, which obviously chronologically takes place a lot later, and Beerus literally flicks Super Saiyan 3 Goku out into unconsciousness. Goma isn't even struggling, really. He is delivering bigger, more heavier blows, but, you know, he isn't struggling and is nowhere near at the top of his game yet. Super Saiyan 4 goes way beyond that version of Goma, to the point where the third eye decides to power him up again. Then he continues losing, then it powers him up again, and it doesn't seem to have a limit on how much it can power Goma up. Maybe Goma's body will eventually fail to actually keep up with the power-ups, just as Moro did. I know we keep going back to Moro, but you could also argue other characters in Dragon Ball have struggled to live up to the power that they inherit as well. Perhaps that will happen to Goma, though you could say this is magic power, and Goma is supposed to be quite prudent with magic, even though he's technically weak. He's not even as strong as Dabra. What if Dabra had the third eye? Would he be more powerful? Is it really based on the user? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. But it was that much stronger than Super Saiyan 4 in the end. Then it actually de-transformed Super Saiyan 4 Goku right back down to base. That was the holy shit moment for me, to be honest, when he basically caught Goku in a bubble and basically reverted him back to base, making Goku state about this motherfucker just how powerful is the third eye. It's way beyond Goku's scope of imagination, despite the fact it just had Super Saiyan 4. So I guess the question is does Goku's Super Saiyan 4 transformation in Daima allow him to compete with a, say, Super Saiyan 3 Goku from Battle of Gods? Does it make up that difference in terms of the growth between those two arcs? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would offer that it probably does, but ultimately Goma is beyond that, and we haven't even seen the full extent of his power. How far does it go? Like I said earlier in the video, what arc would it reach in terms of actual attacking potency and destructive capacity? Remember, a Supreme Demon King that had this third eye likely ordered Rhymus to create the multiverse. Did it have more power than even Rhymus? who you could actually scale to the likes of the Omni King and the Grand Priest. Now, that de-transforming ability, taking Goku's power away from him, actually is reminiscent, in fact is better than what the Grand Priest did in the Tournament of Power by taking away the ability of the combatants to fly. Even the likes of Jiren couldn't fly in the Tournament of Power, even though he could levitate, of course. So the third eye is capable of power nullification. The thing is, these statements concerning the power of the third eye ultimately can be wanked that high. Is he going to be that high? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think they will go that far. At least not yet, or at least whilst the third eye is with Goma. Maybe a more powerful user, sure. And I offer this. Who did that third eye initially belong to? Which being had that much power? And is this just one part of that being that would need to be collated in order to create that being? And is that a future villain in Dragon Ball? But to conclude, where do I think it lies in terms of superpower? Well, it could be anywhere really, but even if we lowball it, you could easily get it to Super Saiyan God levels from Battle of Gods, and of course Beerus was very impressed by Super Saiyan God, even though obviously Beerus was heavily suppressed. Or what if Frieza got the third eye with his Black Frieza transformation in the future? So many exciting things, guys. This third eye is way more powerful than I think we all expected. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. Obviously, the third eye, as it currently was not enough to take out that juiced up motherfucker Red Porunga, but even neither stated the third eye had unparalleled power, and surely neither would know the power of his own creation. Once again, it's another debate. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Keep it locked in. Lend me your energy. Smash a like on the video. Comment down below. Until next time, Ad Astra.